Yeah, I've just stumbled across this on the internet because I was just typing in David Sylvian St Albans into Google because from the last interview that me and Ben Emlyn Jones made about how I met Japan at this pub in Hertfordshire where they were supposed to rehearse before they got famous, and what I'm surprised of is I've not really got a lot of feedback from it, whether anybody else or other fans or anybody remembers them there. It's a very strange place that they've just sort of well kept hidden in their past. Maybe they've got reasons, they've got issues that basically, might bring back a whole load of bad memories, But I've got to be honest, and I feel a bit guilty because maybe I was one of these people that didn't make this band's life very easy when they were trying to rehearse there, because I was a young child and me and my cousins used to keep interrupting when they were trying to rehearse. So anyway, I stumbled across this website and it's come out with all these tours that Japan did before they got famous, and their first gig was on June the 1st, 1974. Japan's first gig, Mick's older brother's wedding. This gig hadn't quite gone as well as the band hoped. However, a turning point with the band was made as Mick, who was decided to be lead singer at the time, got a bout of panic before going on stage, so he begged David to take over the mic, and he reluctantly agreed. But then I've just been scrolling down and I've come across this. Now, I remember this day when me and my cousins broke into their studio. Well, they're in the beer garden, and we were like, prancing around all the instruments. And, well, basically, if we come to this, it proves something here, and this is quite frightening. Now, I don't want to sort of parade Steve Jansen as a liar here, but this is quite frightening. It's frightening to me because in 1978, this would have been round about that time, that summer, when me and my cousins broke into this studio and my stupid little cousin got on the drum kit and broke the drum pedal. And we all went back to our parents in the garden, and when the band went back into rehearse, of course Rob Dean came out and had a right go at us and said, "We believe that one of your children have broken our drummer's drum kit." So I remember my parents were called round to the other side of the studio, and I remember David Sylvian got quite angry with me and screamed at me and told me to get out, and I remember he had me in tears, and I remember they said to my parents, "We've got an important gig tonight." So look at this. This is frightening. July, August 1978. Go down and you see July the 31st, 1978, Camden Music Machine, bootleg exists. So that gig wasn't actually cancelled, but then if you go to August the 1st, 1978, cancelled, August the 2nd, 1978, cancelled, last two dates of this residency were cancelled due to, of course, who was it? Whose drum kit broke? Was Steve Janssen's. So I don't want to feel that Steve Jansen had to make an excuse and pretend that he had appendicitis. It would have been a bit bad if he went to his manager and said, "Oh, sorry, we can't do the gig tonight or next week because some kid's broken my drum kit." Do you think they would have believed that story? I don't think the managers would have believed him, that a child had broken and broke his drum kit. But then you've got August the 5th, 1978. This show was still advertised, but never took place, as Steve was still recovering in the hospital, supported by a band called Moonstone. Now, I thought, right, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on the net and I'm going to find out myself. So what did I do? I typed in Google calendar for year 1978. If you go here, all the way down to August, July, here it is. July, the dates. Now, what I'm thinking might have happened was It felt like a Saturday, that day when me and my cousins, we all broke into that studio. It felt like a Saturday lunchtime. It was sunny, it was hot weather. That could have been on the 29th. You see, it's got Saturday 29th. So the following week, you've got the 31st, which was a Monday. So that gig looked like it existed. But what could have happened was Steve Jansen probably got a friend to lend him that drum kit, and he couldn't borrow it on the other dates, which were following. So if you go back, but there you see, it was a Saturday. The 5th turns out to be a Saturday. So, you know, it's, if you work it out, I think that was on the 29th, that Saturday, when we broke into their studio and we broke the drum kit. It was on the 29th, because I remember they went mad. They said, we've got important gigs coming up. Cancelled. So maybe it was just a coincidence that Steve Jansen came down with appendicitis. We'll never know to this day. Only Steve Jansen can come forward, but I don't think he would want to really speak to me. I think he would be quite pissed off with me. But I am going to show you a photograph of us, what we looked like at the time, and who this little critter is. His name's Anthony Bonner, and here he is, this little boy here. Steve, if you're watching this, here he is. This is the little critter that broke your drum kit and broke your drum pedal, and there's me to the left. And all I want to do is say I am really, really sorry. But what is very strange is how I became a Japan fan in 1986 and developed a crush on David Sylvian. I just want to say to the band, I'm really sorry, because, you know, it's not really you know, how can you forget a thing like that if you've got important gigs coming up and you rehearse, you're flipping, you know, you're tired, you know, drums, you know, I just, at the end of the day, I just feel in between mixed feelings of guilt and an embarrassment here. So, anyway, I'll leave it at that. So, yeah.